Welcome to the Garage Engineer. We're going to do a look at the shop truck, which is the 1994 B4000. It's actually the same thing as a Ford Ranger, it's just Mazda's version. They just took it and rebranded, rebadged some of the items. Now, we got this last summer, and it had a blown heads. Basically, it was cracked. I did the work on that. It was about a 3 or 4 week project because I was having to do it in between other jobs. But we got that running. It's still has a little bit of leak, but I think it's around the piston rings. We didn't do any of that because this is a shop truck. We just wanted it running. But I wanted to get the four-wheel drive working on it. So we went through that, tested the computer. It was working all right, but the motor was not working. So let's go. Let me show you. I went ahead and pulled the transfer case motor out. Let me show you on the bench how you can test it. So here's the transfer case motor. The front of the vehicle is this way. The back is on that side. Here's the motor itself. Here's where the transfer case connects to it, and this is where it changes from two-wheel to four-wheel high to four-wheel low. And then there's the sensor on the back tells what position the motor or the transfer case is in. And that's where you have some problems too, because the bump stop disintegrates, and when I took it apart, it was totally just destroyed. But I'm having problems with the motor here, and the way to test the motor is you take the connector. The yellow and the orange wire is what controls the motor, as you can see right here, orange and yellow. So depending on which way you put the positive electricity onto the motor, it'll go one direction. If you flip it, it'll turn it the other direction, and we'll test that in a minute. But I wanted to show you on the ohms. So put it on 200 ohms. And if you put the probe onto the orange and the yellow wire, see, I'm not getting it. I'm not getting the good. I'm really not getting anything, and that's the problem. See, it's showing it's open. You should be getting, see, it's not even getting a good, and if I flip it around, I should be getting the same thing. You should be getting around 2.7. So you get 8 that way, but you're not getting a good signal the other direction, and that's what I was having problems with, is the motor would move kind of one way, but then it wouldn't move the other way. So let's see here. Let me test it back again. Well, now we're getting... That's interesting. We never got that before. I wonder because it's cold. It closed the coils up. Well, we're going to test it on a new one. Let me show you what a new one should be reading. It should be around 2. Still a little too high. 8.4. That's interesting. Okay, let me get the new one out. Before I start throwing parts in any vehicle, I like to at least figure out what's wrong with the item itself. So here's a new one. And our reman one. Let's go ahead and we'll stick that there. And then the orange and the yellow. Let's see what we got. You can't see. See, you should be getting a 2.4 and 2.3, and that's ohms, and that should be about where we want to be, showing it's a good motor. 8 was a little too high. See, it's 2.3 going the other direction too, so that's what a good motor should be. So to test the motor, what I did is got my jumper pack. I just took some multimeter leads, connected it to the negative and the positive connectors. And then we're just going to use this to touch the pins. Now be careful and make sure you don't cross the probes and short out anything. So let's see if I turn it this way. And so what we're trying to do is to get the gear to move. And that will tell us if we got the motor. This is what the issue's been all along. So make sure you get the orange and the purple, which is on the bottom here. It's not wanting to stay. There we go. Let's see. Let me get a clamp. So it won't move on us. There you go. Alright, so we're looking at there. Power it up. And move in closer so you can see. Okay, now we got you a little bit closer here. So we're watching the little mark right here that I made on there. It's not moving. And you see that sparking? There's a short, and if I do it that direction, and then if I go this way, I do have a little bit of movement. Let's see if it goes back. Well, we're having better luck today. I think because it's colder, we're actually getting some movement. This wasn't moving before at all. See, now it's slowing down. Well, that could be the battery power. But we weren't getting any movement at all. Now I've lost power. I think the coldness has contracted the windings and has allowed it to move. So let me get reset up and see if we get some more power. My guess is that the motor started dying, and that's why it started running down, because I tested the jumper pack and it was at 12.4 volts. So let's just check the new motor and see if that prediction's correct. So we'll get the same setup. Let's find the orange and the yellow wires on the bottom here. And I'm just going to lightly touch it, and you're going to be watching right here for movement. And I'll get you closer. As I apply power. Yeah, so this motor's working, so that just shows the other one worked for a little bit, but the windings just gave out. So that motor was definitely bad. So, and this was only $50 for the part. It's a Reman Dorman. So we'll see how that works out. But we will, now we'll go into installing it. But before we do the install, I did want to show you real quick what it looks like when you apply power and how the moves. Now make sure you keep this in the mark your positioning, because that's important. So that's fully hit the bump stop, and that's about where 4 high is, or that's a little past 4 high, and then 4 low is right, usually right about there, somewhere like that. But I'm in two-wheel drive, so we're gonna put it back. And so I'm just lightly applying voltage. So now we're back to where we started. So that should be good for when we install it. There is a retainer ring. It's a red. I'll have to take out the old one. This didn't come with it. But the reason why you have that is because you had to remove, to get this motor away from the vehicle, is there's 3 pins you have to take out. 1 in the center and then 2 on the outside. So we're going to have to reinstall that and then put the red retainer ring. Now I like to use a dental pick to help pull it out. You can also use O-ring picks. Just something to get down in there and to pop it up. Let me show you on the old one. You see, here's the old one, and you see that red retaining clip down in there. You just want to pull, and there you go. And that's all it is right there. And it's keyed, so you'll know what direction it needs to go to put it back in. But you're going to need that from your old unit, because mine didn't come with it. We're here back at the vehicle. Now let's get up underneath here, and I'll show you. There's the transfer case, and then you see the wires hanging down here low. But that is the area that we're going to be working. And then right up there, you can see it marks on there the 4-wheel, 2-wheel high, 4-wheel low, and 4-wheel high. So let me get you set up. So as we're under here, I want to make sure that we're positioned properly first before I connect the wires. And yeah, make sure everything lines up. There. I think we get another bracket here. So we should be good. Perfect. Alright. So I am going to, let's get a few screws in here first. And then, so the blue and the green wire I found out was the going to the sensor, and I think the black is just a ground. Now, it's going up to the transfer case. I don't remember what that one does. But the blue, definitely the blue and the green are the sensor for the transfer case. So right now I'm going to put the screw in for the left bracket. Just lightly. And then I got 3 screws. Now this is a bracket for the wiring harness, and I've got to remember how it goes. Here. So yesterday when we were recording, cameraman Joe was sleeping on the job and missed a little section of the reinstall of the transfer case. So let me show you where we were at, where we left off from yesterday and the part that we were missing. So we were trying to figure out why, this is the bracket that holds the wiring, and we were wondering why it didn't fit on the other transfer case. I'm going to show you here on the, this is the old one, the bad one. You see how it has this notch right here that goes around one of the bolts, and you see how it fits. This is how it fit right there, and this part went onto the sensor, and then you slid the wiring harness right into here, and it held it real nice. Well, let me show you on the new one why it's not working. Alright, so as we're underneath here with the transfer case motor, the reason why this is how it fit on the other one, but the reason it's not fitting is because Dorman decided to move the angle where the screw is, so it doesn't fit, because here's the 2 bolts. It should be over here, not over here. So, and then see how this tab hits against the speed sensor. So that's why this is no good. So that's why we came to the realization that we're just gonna have to we zip tie this, which I'll show you later. But to finish off where we were at, basically you needed to install the sensor wires here into the wiring harness of the new transfer case motor. So basically this is what you need: the green wire and the blue wire, which come off the sensor. Green wire goes next to the yellow power of the motor, just remember that. And then that brownish black one, I think this is supposed to be brown, but it's black because of all the oil. This goes into the center, so that's pretty easy. You just push the pins all the way through, until they click, or they should click. And then you put the red retaining clip that I showed you earlier in the center to hold it in. And then that's pretty much it. So then when you're done, you've got your three bolts here. 1, 2, and then one up here, 3. And then let's see if we can, if you can see the other. And on the other side, you have your 1 bolt here that connects it to the transfer case, and then you tighten up your 2 bolts for the bracket. This is the bracket, and it connects. Here's the transfer case motor. You've got 2 nuts that you got to screw on, and this is the old wire that goes up to the module up in the cab, and then this is where we just zipped it on. We might need to do another zip tie, but we'll show you that. That comes later, but we're in the future right now, so I just wanted to kind of show you how we ended up putting it all back together. So it's in there. So let's continue on with the show. So if you're curious to see where the transfer case motor is, let's see if I can get pulling the seatbelt out of your way. Is right in here. This is that big wire that we saw going down to the motor is this wire, and then these are the controls going to the switches and the lights. And this is the brains of it. So there's a way to test it, and we'll do maybe another video of testing it. I've just got it out right now because I was testing it earlier. But that sits right behind the driver's seat. So now, let's turn the power on and see. Here's the switches. Now this is only one step of what could be wrong with the 4-wheel drive system. So let's get the key in here. Push it's got a clutch sensor. No lights came on, which usually has a... No. That's a good thing. We got 4-wheel high. Oh, the lights came on. That's good. They didn't do that before. Oh, and we've got lights here. So that's a good thing. We've got pretty excited about that. We got it working now. I can't hear it. Maybe we'll have to go underneath. I heard it clicking. I hear the relays on the back behind me clicking when I push it, the button, and I hear it clicking underneath. Alright, so let's get inside. It's pretty exciting. And let's do see if we can do some testing here on the farm. Alright, let's get the window open. I don't know how well you'll be able to see. Give you a truck. Oh, we can't see. It is bright out today. Let's cut that down, way down. It is bright. We're gonna go out to the field here. Test things out. So we got pretty steep hill possibly to test this out. There's the old deer feeder. We didn't have any deer this year. If you want to check out the build on that, that was a fun one. Alright, so we're in 2-wheel now. But it's pretty good. It gets up there 2-wheel. Let's see if we can get up there 4-wheel. Now what we need to do is push 4-wheel high. The light comes on. The rear wheels are spinning. I'm not sure. Maybe we do 4-wheel high, test that out. Not really sure if there's a good test on how to test. So we push the button. Have to be in neutral, I think. Why aren't we getting... I'm not sure about the procedure on how I'm spinning. Maybe, I don't know if the front wheels are locking or not. We got proof of concept working. We got the motor working. Now I just have to figure out a good way to test to see how the four-wheel drive's working. We're not going to low now too, so I don't know what the deal is with that. So we'll let me do some testing on it and we'll see what we can do. Well, we're one step closer getting this thing to at least to be a functioning shop truck. The four-wheel drive lights come on now. Maybe there's a procedure to get it in low. I don't know why it's not doing it now. It did it before. So I need to do some research, see the manual. Maybe you've got to be in a certain position or whatnot to get that to go to low. I'd love to hear comments from you. If maybe there's some way I can test this, and tell me maybe a good way to test four-wheel drive. I guess the next thing too is to look to see if the wheels are locking up front. I'm not really sure about that. So thanks for watching, and go make something. Okay, so bonus repair. Now, sometimes when you get stuck on a problem, you just gotta kind of walk away and then come back and it might come to you. Well, in this situation, it worked out. Went to have lunch, came back, started. I said, well, maybe I'll check the wiring connections. Maybe that's why the four-wheel low wasn't working. And this is what I found. Let me show you. So before we were talking about that green and wire that went to the sensor, it was turned up like this. And before, when I had the wires apart, I did put some heat shrink because I knew the wire casing had broken. But look, you can see right here, both of these were exposed and they were twisted on each other. So I think they were shorting out, and that's why it wasn't going into four-wheel low. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna clean it up and put some, since my heat shrink isn't working very well, we're gonna clean it up and then put some liquid electrical tape and give that a try. But first we need to get some of that oil off. There we go. Can you see? We'll get some light there. And we'll always use the trusty brake clean. Got my safety glasses on. And let's give it a little spray here. And we'll have all these parts listed in the description if you're interested in what we're using. I don't know how much of this is going to clean. Let's see here. Try to get it. It's just caked in dirt and mud. See if we get the other side here. Trying to be careful. We don't want to break the wires. Wires seem like they're in pretty good shape. They're not broken. There's no strands broken. It's just that the casing around it is just falling off. So I guess that's the best we're gonna get. So I'm using some Starbright liquid electrical tape here. Give it a little stir. Give it a good coat all the way around, best I can here. tight corners like this, I think, works the best when you can't get a wire around it, and heat shrink definitely is not doing it. So this is better than nothing, and then we won't have that problem. Hopefully we won't have that problem anymore of it shorting out. And it says you can put some on, let it sit for 5 minutes, and then come back and put another coat on to build it up. And I think that's what we're gonna do. So let me just pause right here. We will pause right here, and then we'll come back in about 5 minutes to put another coat on there. Alright, while we're waiting for that to dry for a few more minutes, I'm going to, I zip tied the connection up here on the speed sensor, the speed tack, but it's sliding too close to the drive shaft, so I need to find a better place to put this. I guess we're gonna have to put it around the balancer or the motor, one of the two, because it used to be right here, so I guess we can move it down. I just don't want it to get any closer to that drive shaft there. So let's cut this off here. Maybe we can do it right, kind of right here. Let's see if there's anything better. Guess we can do it around the mounting bracket. I wish the wiring harness bracket would have worked, but they made it different, so I guess we can't be too picky. Should be happy that it worked, the motor worked. I guess that'll be good for right now. We're not going to do major off-roading, so we just need to just make sure it just stays out of the way. It's a work truck. That should be good for now. Alright, I think that's pretty good. Let's put another coat of the electrical connection here. Tacked up pretty good. Not too bad, I like it. Just hard to do upside down. Yeah, that should be good. At least keep it from touching each other and shorten out. Alright, let's go up top and give it a try. Alright, so we're back up top. Let's get inside and let's do a test on the system here. Get the key in, get the seat up. Let's roll the window down, it is hot. Alright, so I don't see when I turn on the four-wheel light, doesn't come on as like a bulb check, indicator light check. But we got key on, engine off, clutch is in. Let's push. Alright, we got four-wheel there. Now hit four-wheel low range. Good, we got the light on. And we got low range, so that's what the problem was. Let's see if we can give it a try. Well, let's go back to the hill. Alright, and give it a try. There we go, back to our test field. Now they say you can do two-wheel drive to four-wheel high while you're moving, but let's give it a try. I'm still slipping in the back. Ooh, my clutch. Still slipping. Let's roll. Let's test. The back slipping, and I don't feel anything in the front. It could be working, but no sliding in the back. Let's try low now. Let's try low. Here we go. So we're gonna push low range, low. It's on. All right, and we got. Do we have the indicator light? Yes, you got low range is on. Here we go. So you have to be at a dead stop to put it in low. Oh, we're still slipping. Still slipping. So I'm not sure. That's the next thing. We'll just have to, that'll have to be another video. We're gonna have to check the, see if the lockers are locking, because they're automatic, see if they're going. Pretty excited, we at least got the system working, at least on the control side of it. So now we just gotta check, maybe the lockers aren't locking, maybe they are, it's just real light on the back, I'm not really sure. So, again, if you have some ideas the best way to test four-wheel drive systems and to know how do you get significant results to know that it's working, I'd love to hear. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.